Did you know that there is a simple system, much more digestible than the classic box patterns, that helps guitarists quickly turn basic leads into creative solos that can flow across the entire guitar neck? I've helped thousands of guitarists add this simple concept to their practice and watch their creative guitar playing take off. In this lesson, I'll share with you that system that will allow you to play confidently across the neck without needing to master a ton of different patterns. You just need one pattern. And this one little pattern can multiply all your licks and sync your ear to the fretboard faster than any other pattern that I've found. Let's jump in. As always, you can grab all the backing tracks and diagrams from the link in the description below. Today, we'll be using the key of D minor, but the beautiful part of the 2-3 system is that it works amazingly well in any key that you choose, anywhere on the neck. The 2-3 system is a pattern for accessing the notes of the minor pentatonic scale across the neck in a way that doesn't really rely on the classic 5 box shapes. Now, the classic shapes, those classic 5 shapes, are great, and they work for a lot of incredible players. But if you've ever felt stuck with them, like you couldn't really quite coax music out of those shapes, the 2-3 system is for you. It uses just 2 simple building blocks, a 2-note set and a 3-note set. It helps to have a good understanding of the notes on your guitar neck, but even if you're just getting started, this will still work for you, as long as you can find a D note on any string. A lot of guitar players tend to get stuck jamming on the fat strings, the E and the A, so in this lesson, we're actually going to start on the D string. And let's go ahead to the 12th fret. So I want you to go ahead and place your ring finger there on the 12th fret. That's the D, right? That'll be our root note, the 1 of the key. One whole step below that one, on the 10th fret, we're gonna add what I call the little bonus note. Okay, and in this key, that's a C. The C is also known as the flat 7 in the minor pentatonic. So now we've created our first 2-note set. On the next string, the G, we'll play a 3-note set with whole steps in between each note. In this key, that's frets 10, 12, 14. That's gonna be F, G, and A. So just like that, we've built a full pentatonic scale. This 2-3 system is also known as the Diagonal Pentatonic. And my challenge to you is start applying it over the track right away. A lot of players are always searching for more places to play, more fancy things to play, but the greats know how to make more out of less. Let me demonstrate a few licks and lines here using this pattern. So you want to make sure that you're including slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, and vibrato. You really want to try and make music with it. Now that we've got one of the 2-3 shapes under our fingers, here is the exciting part. You can play this shape anywhere on the neck. You can even stack them diagonally across the fretboard. So let's continue up onto the B and high E strings. So you gotta watch out for the B string tuning shift. And so in order to compensate, what we do is we move 1 fret towards the body of the guitar on the B string. So we'll place a 2-note set on the B string here at frets 13 and 15. That's C and D. Then a 3-note set on high E string, 13, 15, and 17. Again, let's not rush off. You can make plenty of music with just this small little fragment. Let me demonstrate that too. Always do more with less rather than less with more. Let's combine what we've already learned. So we'll go ahead and include the notes that are on that the middle two strings there. What you might have noticed is I would even play a lick in that middle D string position, and then you can copy and paste it, same lick, into the upper position. It works so great. So let's go ahead and move down and include the low strings as well. So we'll play two notes on that low E string. That's frets 8 and 10. And that's ring finger still on that D note. And then on the A string, we're gonna play notes 8, 10, and 12. Again, that's the coolest part about it. That's still F, G, and A. So now we have 3 octaves of that D minor pentatonic laid out diagonally across the fretboard, just using this 2-3 system. And the coolest part is you're not locked into just this one position. I wanted to take a moment to introduce the sponsor of this video, my full Diagonal Pentatonic Method course. If you're enjoying this diagonal approach, I've built a full course out of it that helps you confidently play across the fretboard in any major, minor, or dominant key. You get over 108 interactive exercises to help turn the scale into music, along with licks by some of my favorite guitarists, tons of studio quality backing tracks. Grab your copy today and save 25% by clicking the link in the description or using the code 23diagonal. Back to the lesson. Let's take this 2-3 system and apply it to a different position on the guitar neck. How about we take the D note and try the 10th fret on the high E string here. So we're going to apply the same 2-3 logic, but this time descending from the thinner to the thicker strings. So we're gonna start on the high E with a 2-note set. That's gonna be 10, 8, that's D and C. And then on the B string, play the 3-note set. That's frets 10, 8, 6, and that's still the notes A, G, F. That's the coolest part. So on the G string here, remember to shift 1 fret back to compensate for the tuning of the guitar. So when we move over there, we're gonna play 7 and 5. That's D and C again. On the D string, we'll do a 3-note set. 7, 5, 3. That's A, G, F again. A string, 5, 3. That's D, C. And the low E string, 5, 3, and 1. That's A, G, and F once again. Now, don't worry that the scale doesn't end on a D. It doesn't have to be the lowest note. That doesn't matter. Because we're playing over a D minor track, your ear still hears D as the home bass. You don't have to start or end on the root for a scale to sound like it's in that key. This is actually a really common misconception. What actually makes something sound like D minor is the context, not just the starting note or where you're playing. Context is what you're playing over. In this case, the D minor track. Let's go ahead and hear how this scale area sounds over the track. I'll start at the top. That's our 2, right? You can get a lot of music out of just those 2 notes. Make sure you're hammering on, pulling off, sliding. And you really want to think about that groove getting in the pocket. All right, I'll work my way down that scale. So at this point, we've covered nearly the entire fretboard just using 2 large patterns of the 2-3 system. And to go even further, we can take this exact 2-3 shape and we can move it up an octave. So I'm on a 22 fret guitar, so I can start this next version at the 22nd fret of that high E string. So here's that final pattern. That's gonna be 22, 20, 22, 20, 18, 19, 17, 19, 17, 15, 17, 15, 17, 15, down to 13. Let's hear how that sounds. So again, don't get stuck in always starting on the thicker strings. And the coolest part, that middle note of the 3-note set is always just the perfect bend. With just 3 simple shapes, you've now got access to nearly the entire fretboard. And this works the same way in any minor key, and it'll work by just finding that root note and alternating between 2 notes and 3 notes, those 2 and 3 note sets. Here's a great challenge. Pick any D note on the neck that you can find. There's at least 1 on every string and 2 on some. And then try to anchor your solo from that D and improvise using just the 2-3 system. You'll be amazed at how fluid and connected your ideas feel. You can copy and paste licks along and around the fretboard. Start with one shape and then move it around. And that is the absolute power of this system. Now that you've learned the 2-3 system, watch this video next to learn how to connect any diagonal patterns using the 3-fret shift.